On December 19, 2025, the Supreme Court struck down the legal foundation of the Trump-era tariffs, sending shockwaves through global markets. This ruling dismantles a key pillar of the America First trade policy, reshaping U.S. economic relations worldwide. The decision isn't just legal, it's a fundamental change in how America will conduct trade. Tariffs on steel, aluminum, and Chinese goods have touched everything from car prices to construction costs. The news broke just after 10 a.m. Eastern, energizing trading floors from New York to Tokyo. Now, Congress, the administration, and trading partners must navigate uncharted territory. For Americans, the end of these import taxes could mean lower prices, but also renewed foreign competition. The court's decision is a seismic event in global commerce. Its ripples will be felt for years. The Supreme Court's ruling zeroed in on Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962. This law let presidents impose tariffs if imports threatened national security. The court, in a 6-3 decision, didn't scrap Section 232, but sharply limited its use. The majority said national security had been stretched too far, covering general economic competition, not just defense. Now, only a direct, specific threat to national defense justifies tariffs. Sweeping tariffs on steel and aluminum from allies like Canada and the EU didn't meet this new standard. The court reaffirmed that Congress, not the president, holds primary power over foreign trade. This returns significant trade authority to the legislative branch. The case was brought by steel importers and manufacturers who argued the tariffs hurt their businesses and overstepped presidential power. The court agreed. The link between imported steel from allies and U.S. military readiness was weak. The ruling sets a higher bar for future presidents. Clear, present danger is now required. Dissenting justices warned this could hamper the president's ability to respond to real threats, but the majority's decision stands, forcing a complete rethink of how the U.S. uses economic tools for national security. The landscape for trade policy has fundamentally changed. To grasp today's ruling, we need to revisit the origins of the Trump tariffs. In 2018, the Trump administration launched a disruptive trade strategy aiming to protect U.S. industries from what it called unfair foreign competition. The administration argued that free trade deals had hollowed out American manufacturing and cost millions of jobs. Section 232 was used to justify broad tariffs on steel and aluminum, citing national security risks. These tariffs hit not just rivals, but close allies, sparking immediate retaliation. Separately, Section 301 targeted China for unfair trade practices, including intellectual property theft. This triggered a costly trade war between the world's two largest economies. Supporters said tariffs protected vital industries and brought jobs back. Critics called them a tax on Americans, raising prices and disrupting supply chains. Retaliatory tariffs from other countries hit U.S. exporters, especially farmers. The debate over their effectiveness has raged ever since. Today's Supreme Court decision doesn't settle that debate, but it closes a major chapter. The legal foundation for broad, unilateral tariffs is gone. The U.S. must now find new ways to address global competition. The era of tariff wars is over, at least for now. Marissa. Global markets responded instantly and positively to the Supreme Court's decision. News of the ruling sparked a surge in major stock exchanges, as investors anticipated lower import costs and smoother supply chains. Asian markets rallied in late trading. European indices like Germany's DAX and France's CAC 40 jumped over 2%. The end of tariffs was seen as a major win for export-driven economies. Currency markets shifted. The US dollar weakened, while the euro, pound, and Canadian dollar strengthened. The Chinese yuan also gained, signaling optimism for China's export sector. Commodity prices adjusted quickly. U.S. steel and aluminum prices fell, while agricultural commodities like soybeans rose. American farmers, hit hard by Chinese retaliation, saw hope for renewed exports. The market's verdict was clear. Free trade is back in play. Investors welcomed the return of stability and predictability. The global economy is poised for a new phase. The world is watching for what comes next. On Wall Street, the Supreme Court's decision triggered a powerful rally. The Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ all soared, with the Dow jumping over 500 points in the first hour. Companies reliant on global supply chains, automakers, manufacturers, and retailers led the gains. Ford, GM, and Caterpillar saw their stocks surge as input costs are expected to fall. Retailers and tech firms, long burdened by tariffs on Chinese goods, also rallied. The removal of tariffs promises lower costs, higher profits, and simpler supply chains. In contrast, shares of domestic steel and aluminum producers tumbled. These companies had benefited from tariff protection, but now face renewed foreign competition. The market's reaction underscored the central tension: what helps one sector can hurt another. The end of tariffs is a boon for most, but a challenge for some. Investors are recalibrating for a new trade reality. The optimism is real, but so are the risks. The U.S. economy is entering a new era. The stakes have never been higher. America's trading partners greeted the ruling with relief and cautious optimism. Leaders in Europe, Canada, and Asia had long criticized the tariffs as protectionist. Canada called the decision a victory for fair trade. The EU hailed it as a chance to reset transatlantic relations. Retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods are now likely to be lifted. In Asia, Japan and China welcomed the move, hoping for more stable trade ties. Chinese officials urged the U.S. to resolve remaining disputes through dialogue. Yet years of trade friction have eroded trust. Foreign officials are watching to see what replaces the tariffs. The consensus: this is a crucial step, but rebuilding trust will take time. The world is ready for a new era of cooperation, if the U.S. leads the way. The end of the tariffs will reshape the U.S. economy unevenly. Industries relying on imported materials, autos, construction, and manufacturing are clear winners. Car makers and builders expect lower costs and improved margins. Manufacturers of appliances and machinery will be more competitive at home and abroad. Domestic steel and aluminum producers, once shielded by tariffs, now face tough foreign competition and possible job losses. The agricultural sector stands to benefit most. Retaliatory tariffs devastated U.S. farmers, especially soybean growers. With tariffs gone, key export markets are reopening. Optimism is returning to rural America. The landscape is shifting. Some sectors will thrive, others must adapt. The challenge is to manage this transition fairly. The stakes are high for every corner of the economy. The Supreme Court's decision has ignited fierce debate in Washington. America First advocates call it judicial overreach. Others see it as restoring constitutional balance. The current administration gains flexibility to normalize trade, but faces pressure from unions and manufacturing communities. Congress is now at the center of trade policy, with new debates and proposals on the horizon. Deep divisions will make consensus difficult. Economically, the transition won't be seamless. Companies must reevaluate supply chains and investments made under the old regime. The challenge: maximize the benefits of open markets while supporting affected industries and workers. The U.S. must manage this shift carefully. The outcome will shape the economy for years. The world is watching how America adapts. The next moves are critical. The Supreme Court's decision marks a new era for American trade policy. By limiting the president's power to impose tariffs on national security grounds, the court has shifted the balance back to Congress. The U.S. is moving toward a more rules-based, collaborative approach to global trade. The ruling forces a national conversation. How should America balance free trade's benefits with protecting workers and industries? The underlying challenges of global competition remain. In the short term, the decision should ease inflation and mend ties with allies. Long-term impact depends on Congress and future policy. Will the U.S. lead in shaping fair, open trade, or fall into political gridlock? The end of the Trump-era tariffs is a watershed moment. The world is watching as America redefines its economic role. The next chapter begins now.